Broadcast is live.
And here we go. This is the impromptu podcast with no name, no name. I was thinking of the Fraudcast, but oh man, it's such a good name. But somebody already has the Fraudcast.
Of course they did.
Of course they did. Yeah.
All the different always gone.
Yeah, I know. And I was thinking of like the unnamed podcast too, and that one, of course, well, that one was gone as well. Right. So this is actually an unnamed podcast. I don't have any name for it yet. Maybe we can call it the Ramblings of Kenny and Matt's.
Unnamed Fraudcast taken?
What's that?
Is unnamed Fraudcast taken?
Oh, well, let me see. That's a good one. Unnamed.
Yeah.
Twins, yeah. Unnamed. I can't type right now. Fraudcast.
I must say, you look very sophisticated with those frames, man.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I finally got some.
Oh, what do you know? I don't think that might be taken. So we could be called the Unnamed Fraudcast.
Hey, there we go. For now.
Yeah, I was like trying to think of names earlier, and I'm like, the Unnamed Podcast sounds cool. And I like looked and that's taken. Then I'm like thinking, man, I'm kind of a fraud. Like, I'm not really a good podcaster. I'm not a good anything. So I'm kind of a fraud. I'm like, Fraudcast podcast, that kind of flows. And then I looked, yeah, someone's got Fraudcast. So, but we're the unnamed Fraudcast.
There we go. It actually flows. That's pretty good.
Yeah, unnamed Fraudcast. So this is the pilot. Hold on, here we go. Pilot episode. So if it sucks, man, this will be the only one. Otherwise, hopefully it doesn't suck.
Oh, like I said, I'm inexperienced, so
yeah, that's okay. I'll teach you real well.
Oh,
God. First thing you need is a screwdriver.
Nice.
Yeah, actually, that wasn't my first choice. I had vodka. I bought vodka today. I don't drink that often anymore. I for everybody listening, I used to drink a lot, like a lot. But for Wisconsinites, it's like not that much, like normal life.
Right. So about like 2 step backs, you know.
like I'd probably drink like 3 to 5 nights a week would be my norm before.
Gotcha.
Now it's like maybe once a weekend, maybe every other couple weekends, not very often, if at all.
I don't know. I got it down to probably like, I don't know, probably like 2, maybe 3 nights a week. You know, I'll do about like 3 beers or so.
I mean, that's a start.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a start. But my problem is when I go until I can't go anymore. So it's not like I'm not like a 1 or 2 beers and I'm good kind of guy. I'm like, once I go, I gotta go or until I'm done. I'm an all or nothing kind of person. So that's just how I am. It's not just alcohol. That's like everything in life for me. It's like all or nothing.
Right. That's not a bad way to like think about stuff either. So.
Yeah.
So cool.
But yeah, my first choice would have been like, oh shoot, I don't even remember the name of the drink, but there's this restaurant in Wausau. It's a Mexican restaurant, and they have this drink. I think it's called the Cantanitas or something. I don't know. I don't speak Mexican. Huh?
Is that the one we went to?
Oh shoot, I don't remember.
Off the main street that was there?
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
Did the drink come in a clay pot?
Yes.
Then that would have been it. Yeah, the Cantanitas. Yeah. I don't know if I'm saying that right now, but so this drink is basically like tequila, which I don't have tequila, I have vodka, but whatever. Alcohol is alcohol. And then it's basically like a grapefruit type soda, so like Faygo 50/50 or whatever it's called, or Fresco or Squirt, any one of those would work. And then like lime juice, and then cranberry. No, not cranberry. Goddamn, what am I thinking? grapefruit juice. That's it. Okay. So like, yeah, you just kind of mix those together. I don't know the exact portions, but I mean, I can pour it myself, but I don't know I just eyeball everything. Yeah, so that's kind of a Cantanitas or whatever it's called. It's really good, but I thought I had grapefruit juice at home. We don't. So I just used orange juice, lime juice. We had some like grapefruit tonic water that someone gave us. So it's kind of like, this is kind of like a screwdriver, which is, I don't know. It's still in kind of the same ballpark. It's citrusy. It's got alcohol. It's got several.
Everything you need.
Orange juice and lime juice, man. What can I say?
It has everything you need. Citrus, alcohol. Bam. That's it.
Yeah. Citrus and alcohol, man.
Citrus and alcohol. That's
it. Yeah, so my daughter has been a serious. I love her. I love her to death. But bedtime, I'll just say bedtime is a serious pain in the ass lately, man. Like,
what now? Like 4?
Yeah, she's 4. She's not quite 4.5, almost 4.5. Okay. But yeah, like, it's just been like the last several weeks have been like almost like tearing your hair out, trying to get her to bed. Mm-hmm. It's either like, man, I don't know. Sometimes she goes to bed fine. The other nights it's like screaming, crying, kicking. I mean, like every imaginable. And she's a girl, so I mean, it's everything's extra dramatic because she's a female. Yeah. So yeah, it's been kind of, and even Rebecca, and Rebecca. Have you ever seen Rebecca get mad?
Not really.
No. Me I've been married to her for 15 years, and like she's usually, even when I get pissed and start yelling at her, she's usually pretty chill and she just walks off. Like she gets pissed now. She's like, she starts like getting real mad. I'm like, damn, dude, if my daughter's getting her like that, shit is bad. Yeah. Yeah, Rebecca's literally probably the most chill person I've ever met in my life. And that's probably why I married her. Mm-hmm. Because she's so chill and laid back, and I'm not.
A healthy balance.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. The last several weeks have been kind of like a huge challenge for both of us. Tonight, I was like, because I was drinking, I was just like, get in bed. You're not doing it. Like, just from one extreme to the other, just for reactionary. Like, get the attention. Like, I wasn't even really actually angry. I was just yelling like furiously, like I was angry, but I really wasn't.
Did she kind of give you that look like, are you serious or not?
She thought I was serious tonight, but she can usually tell when I'm bullshitting. But tonight, she thought I was actually pissed. I wasn't. I was just like, you need to get in bed. Mom was upset. You need to get in bed. She's had enough. I've had enough. I'm trying to do stuff online. You need to get in bed. It's already midnight, whatever. You need to be in bed now. Mm-hmm. I mean, she goes to bed late because my schedule is, second shift. So we don't eat dinner till 10 o'clock at night, 11 your time. So, by the time she's allowed to stay up so she can see me at the end of at the end of my work shift. So she doesn't even really go to bed until midnight normally, just because that's how my work shift is, that's how it is.
Right.
And then she sleeps in till like 10, 11 o'clock. She goes to bed usually around 12 to, sometimes 2 in the morning, but we try to get her to bed before that. But it's like the nights that we're really fighting, it ends up being 2 in the morning. Yeah. But then, she gets up like around 10, 11 o'clock. And then, that's pretty much our day. She sleeps in and then goes to bed.
Just wake her up like extra early. Like wake her up around like 8:30.
That's when you get up?
But yeah, well, I'm usually up like by 7.
Yeah, you're way earlier than me.
Yeah, like 7, 8 o'clock. It really depends what's going on. Like I've always been that way, but then when Keithia gets up for work, she has to be there at 8. So like Kenya has school at 8, so everyone starts to wake up around that time. Anyway. So
do any of your kids actually go to school right now or no?
No, everything's online. They're doing virtual learning. So, well, actually, Kenya's the only one in school.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So, so she does that for most of the day, and then she has a break like around probably around like 1:45 ish. You know what I mean? And then she might have one more class after that. But her first class is like 8:30, and then she doesn't have to go back until about like 10:45 or something like that. So she actually doesn't have that much time that she's actually in class.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. It's just sometimes if you're doing something like the other day, like I had told her you got class in 20 minutes, and it was like a 10:30 class or something, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like 10:10 or whatever. And then I look at the clock again, it's like 10:49. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. For class.
I used to be a pretty timely person. I don't like being late, and then I had a wife, and mostly on time, sometimes late, and then I had a child. Forget it.
Right. It's just like whatever happens, because like I got Bria, and then Kenna's running around, and and then of course the dog. So trying to keep everything somewhat like together. So I don't know, it works. It's just she don't like it though.
Well, yeah, I get it. I mean, school's not really for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not a school person. You know what, though? Actually, honestly, I probably learned more. I probably taught myself by researching more after high school than I did in all of my entire, whatever K through 12 education. Well, maybe not K through 12. I'll say high school, because you really do learn a lot in like K through 8, 8th grade or whatever, K through at least 5th grade. You learn, the very fundamentals of everything, reading, writing, arithmetic. But outside of that, I've taught myself more in the last probably 5 years or so than, all of my quote unquote high school career. But yeah, I mean, for those listening, I was homeschooled, so I didn't really do shit, if I'm being honest. I did whatever I had to do to pass by, whatever. But I mean, I made it. I mean, and I got a decent job. I've got a job at a finance company. It sounds all fancy. I mean, yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. But I mean, like, okay, here's a little tidbit for anybody out there listening. I was homeschooled. I graduated as a homeschooler. I've never once had to show my diploma ever.
Oh, no.
I've never had to prove that I graduated high school. If any of you out there are like dropouts, fucking just tell them you graduated high school. I've never once had to prove that I graduated high school.
Right. I wonder how far you can actually go with that.
Huh?
I wonder how far you can actually go with that. Like if they ask how much school you've actually completed.
Don't be like I went to Yale, but
right.
But I mean,
I got my associates.
Just say you graduated high school. Just say you're homeschooled. No one's gonna ask. I've never had to prove that I was homeschooled or that I got a diploma or that I had to do this to get a diploma. Never once.
Right.
So yeah, just a tidbit. I'm not, whatever. It is what it is. Just, I mean, we're living in 2021. Times are crazy. If you need to make money and earn a living and you're a dropout, just tell me you graduate high school. I mean, unless you're trying to get like a high-end corporate job where you're getting $550,000 a year, you don't have to prove that you graduated high school. I've never had to show my diploma once. I mean, I have one somewhere. I don't know where my diploma's at, but I mean, I
still have mine. Well, I got my GED. So I got my GED, but I still have mine.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, what is it? I mean, it's high school, dude. Who cares?
It's funny because I actually went to Henry Ford to go try and go into class or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, "Oh, you never like actually got your GED or graduated." They had signed me up for classes and everything, and they're like, "Oh." So that's really the only time I had to like have it. It's just so I can go to college. That was it. So.
Yeah, but isn't Henry Ford at least a decent? Don't they have a decent program?
It's pretty cool. Henry Ford was pretty cool. they have like a lot of cool electives or whatever, but outside of that, everything is just math, science, all that
Right.
stuff. Like, once you have a specific goal in mind, like, hey, I know I want to like do like graphic design, or I know I want to do nursing or something like that. Like I wouldn't even say go for like a full like degree. I would just actually say go get a certificate. I mean, that's even better. Focus, because again, that's not for everybody, but they don't push certificates; they push degrees. That's a money thing at that point.
Yep, I 100% agree with you. I will never encourage my child to go to college. I mean, that sounds crazy, but all you're gonna do, I look at credit reports like 8 hours a day, and I can't tell you how many people I see with student loan debt, and they're making maybe a little bit more money than me, but not much. But I don't have any school loan debt because I didn't go to college.
I do, but like it was an art school though. So
right. But I guess my point is like
you don't need it.
Yeah, you don't need college. Okay, like traditional college, forget about it. A tech college, or some kind of like plumbing. If you want to be a plumber or an electrician where you can do an apprenticeship, do that because they'll pay you to learn. You know what I mean? But like, don't go to like a regular traditional college, people, because that's a scam, in my opinion. I mean, and that's just based on what I've seen, not only from looking at people's credit reports, but people that I know personally. I know a lot of people in my own personal life, including my father, who spent all this fucking money and went to college, and they don't have literally anything to show for it anymore. And I love my dad. I wish he had something to show for it. But I mean, other than probably whatever debt he amounted up, and I can't tell you the last time he had a job when he used his actual psychology degree. I don't know what, maybe the 90s. Yeah, I mean, like, it's been probably 2 or 3 decades almost since my dad was able to have a job using his degree that he went to college for. It's a joke, man. And it's not just my dad. I know a lot of people who are in the situation where, like, they spend, I don't even know what college costs. I don't even care. But, like, I would think at the low end, $80,000. And if you're going to be like a lawyer or a doctor, you're talking $250,000 or $350,000. No joke. And then, I mean, those people usually end up making enough money to make it worth their while. It's where they, like, make 20, 30 grand a month, and they're paying for their student loans, and, they're living okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're lucky enough.
But I've seen
be able to find those jobs. So.
I've seen lawyers that only make $50,000 a year.
Oh wow!
Like, yeah, and they've got like the same amount of debt as the other lawyers who are making $1 million a year, whatever. I don't know, but yeah, man, I've seen people. I mean, like I said, I look at people's credit reports all day long, and some people, when it comes to like lawyers and doctors, some people make good money and some don't. And quite honestly, I just don't think it's worth it for people to go to college for that. It's just a lot of money you have to be indebted to somebody. And here's the thing, with all of their debt, you can be like, oh shit, I lost my job. I'm homeless now. I can claim bankruptcy. With student loan debt, you can't do that.
Yeah, no, you can't wipe it out with bankruptcy, which that's the worst.
No.
That's the worst, dude.
Yeah, that's like the worst kind of debt to be in. Every other kind of debt, you can get yourself a $100,000 American Express card if your credit, is good enough, and you'd be like, "Oh shit, I can't pay," and you can
I won't pay.
Bankruptcy.
Right.
Yeah, but you go get yourself $100,000 worth of student loan debt. Nope, you got to pay that somehow.
$100,000 student loan debt right now.
And I've seen plenty of people who are, born in like, I don't know, 61, 62. And they're still paying on their credit loan debts. Their student loan debts, I mean.
Yeah, no, that's retarded.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, because I have I think 35,000 or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got like 35,000 student loan debt.
I mean, that's not the worst in the world.
Yeah, it's not the worst in the world. I mean, I want to pay it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's weird. Like I didn't get anything out of it, outside of just that.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
so
I
it's like
know.
I don't want to pay it, but I kind of want better. I want better credit. You know what I mean? So I kind of have to, I guess.
Yeah, and here's a little hint for anybody just wondering. As someone who, and I can't speak for every credit company who who's willing to lend credit, but as far as my company, when we look at potential clients or customers, if they have student loan debt and they're defaulted on that, but that's the only thing they're defaulted on, we don't really care. We may still, grant them a finance option if they're defaulted on their student loans, and that's the only thing they're defaulted on. That and medical, nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why too. I didn't know this until I started working at the company I'm working at. I knew companies didn't care about medical, but I didn't know why. Here's why, and it actually makes sense. So a lot of people might have medical defaults or whatever you want to call it on their credit report, but it might not necessarily be their fault. It could be that their insurance company is supposed to pay for that and they haven't.
Yeah.
And it goes default and it goes on their credit report.
So it's not their fault.
Right. And that's why nobody takes it seriously, because I don't know that. I can't know. I don't have access to calling the insurance company. There's no way for me to know that. And I mean, quite honestly, some people they may have like perfect credit except for their medical, whatever. When we see that, like literally, we just ignore that. I mean, it's pretty much that. And student loans, we pretty much ignore. Everything else we look at seriously. But yeah, that's the reason why a lot of companies don't really take medical derogatory seriously, because there is a possibility that the insurance company is supposed to pay that, and they may pay that eventually, but they may be dragging it out or trying to fight it. You know what I mean? And then they may eventually pay for it rather. But at that point, it's still going to be on the whoever's social security number that is, it's going to be on their credit report that they defaulted, even if it's paid off later. But that's just because the insurance company may have dragged their feet to try to not pay it.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Medical's a lot too. So.
So I mean, my company specifically, we generally ignore medical and student loans. If a person only has student loans only and they're defaulting, we probably would pass on lending them money. But if they've got like a bunch of other things, like credit cards and a mortgage and whatever, an auto payment, they're paying perfect and everything else, but they're only default on their student loans, we may extend them some kind of financing. But if they've only got student loans only in their default, then we might pass on it. But that's just because
one time I was looking into getting a home loan, and they were like, "Yeah, you got student loan that." That was his actual thing. He was just like, "Yeah." And I was just like, "Okay, cool." So like, he didn't care about that like whatsoever. He was just like, "Yeah, you need to get your score up just like a little bit more, and don't worry about the rest of it." That's about it. I
mean, unless you're trying to get I don't even know, man. If you're trying to get a Discover card or something like that, I mean, they probably wouldn't. They'd probably look at it and maybe be like, "Nope." But
yeah,
generally speaking, a lot of companies are going to be like, "Oh, student loans, medical, whatever."
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want, when I get credit cards, I try to go for a company that's not like a major company anyway. So I just feel like I can get a better response out of it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's funny. I guarantee if I looked at my own credit report and didn't realize it was mine, I probably would pass. I mean, mine's not bad, but it's not. I just don't have a lot. Sometimes we look at a customer and be like, "Oh, they're limited, pass," because we don't know what their credit history is. Mm-hmm. So if I looked at my own, I'd probably be like, "Oh, limited, pass."
Right.
So I don't have a lot of credit, and I have some.
Weird. I would assume you did.
I have some, but it's not a lot. Like some people, they have 50 trades, meaning 50 different accounts. I don't know. I probably have 10 or less,
No, okay, yeah.
which is kind of like quote unquote limited. That's
Mhm.
what we consider like limited in my company. Like, I mean, I don't know. It kind of depends on who you ask in my company. Like like honestly, we're pretty chill. Like, I can literally be like, I can look at it at someone's credit report. Like, do I want to get this approved or do I not? Like,
Mhm.
oh, they seem cool. I want to get them approved. Let me call this person and I can get it approved. I'm like, this person seems like shit. I want to get them declined. I'll call this person. I know that they're going to decline it. And honestly, that's just how my company is. Like when we go to our credit training, like the guy who does our credit training, he can be like, I can see why this person passed on it. I can see why another person might have extended financing to him.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one is necessarily right or wrong. It's usually pretty obvious when it's like, oh, we should have passed on that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of them are very black and white or gray, in our gray area rather.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, yeah, we could probably, maybe we won't finance it 100%. Maybe we'll finance it at 80% and let the dealer who's submitting that
try not to take such a hit from it.
Right. Yep. That way the dealer is they're assuming some of the risk as well when we don't necessarily finance it 100%. But yeah, like our company's pretty flexible about how we extend financing to our customers for the most part. I don't know. I feel like when I look at somebody, I can pretty much know whether it's going to be a approval or a declinal, but sometimes I'm wrong, and that's okay. Like sometimes I'll miss stuff. I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't see that on the credit report. I mean, part of our thing is we're trying to be productive, so we can't spend 20 minutes looking at someone's credit report. We, a minute or two. We have to look. You're literally just scrolling through, trying to look at all the important things as quickly as possible because you're trying to be productive. So sometimes you might miss something, and then usually, when I go, hey, I got to call somebody, it's out of my authority. They'll look at me, well, I'm gonna decline it because I might have been like, they've got plenty of disposable income. Their credit isn't, they're not too derogatory, blah blah blah. I would say I would approve it because in our notes we had to put whether we would approve or whether we would decline it, and I guess you don't have to say why, but I usually put my reasons why I would decline or why I would approve. And sometimes like I would approve whatever, and then I call somebody else because the decision would be out of my authority.
Right.
And I can't make the decision. It's just whatever out of my authority or whatever. So I have to call someone else, and they may be like, I would decline because whatever. They might have the reasons. Some little tiny thing that I might have missed when I'm just trying to scroll through their credit report real quick.
You can't spend much time on it. So
right, and they're people who've been there longer know what to look for more than I do. So sometimes I'm off. A lot of times I'm off, but a lot of times to be like, I'll call a manager or a team lead or whatever. Like, yep, I agree with your decision, even though it might be out of my authority. They still have to be the one to approve or decline it. They might be like,
right.
I agree to approve it, I agree to decline it. You're right. They are derogatory on this or that. They don't have the capacity to pay. It doesn't look like, I wouldn't, they'd be like, I wouldn't extend them credit. So a lot of times my managers or team leads or whatever, they'll go off of what my recommendation is. That's all we put in our note. What we put in our notes. Mm-hmm. But like sometimes they see something I don't. Like, I can see what you're saying. They'll tell me on the phone. They'll be like, I can see why you would think that. What I'm seeing is da-da-da-da-da, and I'm going to approve it or decline it for this reason. I'd be like, okay, fine. Well, I don't care. I mean,
right.
It really doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm just like, whatever, I don't care. It's not like I'm loaning them my money. I really don't care.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun job in a way because like you're like lending people fake money, in my opinion, fake money to pay for stuff, whatever. I don't know. I think it's funny.
Hey, try to see if you can get like a home loan, dude.
Well, we don't do home loans. We do like, there is not my department, but another department does like RVs and boats, and then my department does like water treatment systems, so like water softeners or water filters, and then like home improvement stuff like remodeling window or like windows or roof work or flooring or something like that. And then walk-in tubs is another thing that we do that's really popular. Old people, whatever.
Right.
And that's really the majority of what we finance, at least in my department.
Yeah, well, that's cool though.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting job. I don't hate it.
Right.
Some days I don't want to do it just because I don't want to work. But
right. I don't think
there's nothing to do with the job. It's just I don't want to work that day.
I don't want to go.
But it's cool. Like pretty much all my coworkers are pretty chill and cool, and they're like, it's actually really laid back. They treat you like an adult, not like a child, like every other job I've ever been at. So it's kind of cool because like you get treated like an adult for like the first time in my life. It's kind of weird.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. And
I mean, you want to stay. You know what I mean? Like little stuff like that is how people end up in jobs for a very long time. You know what I mean? Either they can't advance and they're like, oh, I'm just here, or it's like, yo, this is actually like a place that treats me well. You know what I mean? And I'll just stay, and if it continues to get better, I'm here. You know?
Yep. Well, let me put it this way. I mean, I've been there since I think it was August of 2019. And I mean, I've never had a job more than 2.5 years of my life.
No.
So I know
a couple of them. I remember a couple of them. Like, hey, you want to work? Nah, I quit. Quit like today.
Dude, there's always work somewhere. I mean, you can always find something.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, like, I don't hate it, but I don't feel like, oh, this is my passion in life. But at the same time, it's like, I don't hate it. It's not bad. I'm learning something different all the time.
Right.
And it's kind of cool. I get to work from home. I like that part of it. I really don't know if I'll be at that company for the rest of my life or anything, but I mean, I kind of miss manual labor a little bit because I don't know, there's something slightly satisfying about doing something physical every day. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can't say that either one is harder or easier. They're both like mentally, this job makes you physically tired, but physical jobs make you physically tired too. Right. It's like they both physically wear you out. I tried actually explaining it to one of my coworkers. She was like, "Oh, my husband doesn't think I do anything." I was like, "Dude, just tell your husband. Like, I've literally done manual labor most of my life. And I've done a few office jobs, this being one of them. They're both hard in different ways. You're both equally exhausted at the end of the day, physically, because of what you do. I might be sitting on my ass in this chair for 8 hours a day, but then, like, just the amount of brain power I have to put into everything. I have to constantly stay busy. I have to make sure I'm staying busy. And dude, it wears you out just trying to make sure that you're trying to stay busy doing something. Like just trying to stay busy doing something. It's like being on meth or something. I mean, I've never been on meth, but it's like it's exhausting trying to make sure that you're trying to stay busy doing something so that you can be doing something for the reason of doing something. You know,
the equivalent of when people are like, "Oh, how are you tired from driving?" All you did was like drive. It's like, dude, have you ever driven?
Right, dude. Driving is exhausting. I love it. I love driving, but it's exhausting.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite jobs is driving.
Yeah, I remember when you did that. Like you did love that.
I do. It's the only thing I hated about it was that you get pulled over by the cops all the time for no reason. And it's at some point you just hit a wall and you're like, I'm done with this shit. I don't want to get pulled over for. I could see like, okay, they caught me trafficking drugs. I was wrong. I've never done anything like that a day in my life. But they pull you over like you're the guy doing that. It gets annoying after a while. Yeah. And at some point, I'm just like, dude, I'm done. I don't want to deal with fucking cops that their job is to literally terrorize truck drivers because they're driving. Literally, the one time out in Tennessee, of all states, Tennessee is supposed to be this like haven of freedom. And like in Tennessee, they're like, he's like, he literally told me he pulled me over because I was driving a truck. Like that was the reason. And he wanted to look for drugs. And he's like, you consent to me searching your truck. And I was like, he was like, well, if you don't consent, I will do a level 3. Oh, fuck. I don't even remember what it's called. A level 3, whatever. I can't even remember the name of it now. And I will search your truck without your consent.
Well, damn. Well,
yeah.
So I guess.
Man, I don't really have much of an option then, do I? Yeah, man.
You don't have a choice. No.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have a choice. When you realize that you're hauling somebody else's goods for them to make a bunch of money, and I mean, I like the job. I like driving, but I mean, honestly, you don't really make that much money doing it, if I'm being honest. I mean, if you're driving a truck, you're going to be working 70 hours a week every week.
You need to be an independent contractor if you're going to be a truck driver. That's the only way you're going to make any money and have a little relief.
If you make your money.
Yep.
And like I said, 70 hours a week every week. And some people, that's cool. I liked it. It was cool. I liked working 70 hours a week. Wasn't a big deal. But at the same time, there's no such thing as overtime as a truck driver. Like most jobs, if you work 70 hours a week, 30 of those hours is going to be time and a half minimum. That's not a thing in truck driving. You get the same amount of pay for however many miles you drive for those 30 extra hours after you've driven 40 hours. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, you can make like $1,000 a week. Ooh, I made $50,000 this year. Yeah, but you fucking spent 70 hours a week every fucking week away from your family.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're divorced,
70 hours
do it, man.
Too. So, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, and part of the time I did have Rebecca with me, so it was cool. But at the same time, like, that's just not for everybody. Not everybody can be like, yeah, I'm going to work 70 hours a week, and those 30 extra hours over 40 hours, I'm not going to get paid any overtime. I'm going to get paid the exact same, and I'm going to get pulled over by fucking retarded asshole cops who their only fucking job is to terrorize me, and I'm going to love it. Yay! You know, that's not for everybody. And after a while, I was just like, I'm done, dude. I fucking love driving more than almost anything as far as like work, but I don't want to be pulled over for no reason. If I was speeding or if I was like fucking swerving or I'm actually trafficking drugs, okay, fine. I earned being pulled over. But I remember one time, no joke, I had gotten pulled over 3 times as a truck driver. Like I was, driving my truck. And then once on my way home, like from my truck to home. So 4 times in 1 week, I was like, I'm fucking done, dude. This shit's fucking in 1 week. Yeah, it gets really old. And here's the thing. When you're a truck driver, remember, you typically get paid by the mile unless you're like, my last truck driving job, I was actually by the hour, not by the mile. But I didn't go that far out. I never spent the night away from home. But most jobs as a truck driver, if you're not a day driver, you're gonna, you're over the road or even what do you call it? If you have your own route, but you're spending the night over the road, you're not getting paid by the hour. You're getting paid by the mile. So if you get pulled over by the cops or if you get pulled into a way station, the hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or longer, and that's happened to me, you're not getting paid for because your wheels aren't moving.
Right.
It's on you, even if you didn't do anything wrong. So after so many times of that happening, you're like, I'm done, dude. I'm done, Not only am I working 70 hours a week, but you're getting pulled over and you're getting tickets for $180 for shit you didn't do. And you didn't get paid for those times that you were being pulled over. You're like, I'm done, man. And that's why I stopped driving. But I love driving. I love driving truck, man. I love driving over the road. It was an adventure. It was like I mean, it was like being Lewis and Clark or something, man. You're getting to discover the whole country,
Right.
but at the same time, it had its mega downfalls, and that's why I stopped doing it.
Oh shit. I don't know, man. Maybe it's something you can explore like a little later on. You know what I mean? Like I said, like again, if you're on a private contractor or whatever, you know what I mean? And like just do like some local runs or something, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that'd be cool.
I'd be down for doing that, man. If I had my own truck and I could get like a dedicated route or something that was like, you know, the one route I did have, I had from Mason, Michigan, which is over by Lansing, down to Chattanooga, Tennessee. That was one day, then the next day, I would drop off my, they'd unload my truck and I would spend the night there. And then the next day I would drive from Chattanooga back to Mason, Michigan, spend the night there. Then they'd load up my truck and,
Right.
That route was awesome because it was basically like Mason, Michigan. I don't even remember what highway it was on. You get from wherever that's at to 75 straight down Chattanooga. Chattanooga is, exit 7 in Tennessee.
Right.
Every day, every other day. It was awesome because
right. So it was like
I knew where the way stations were. I knew when they were open. I knew when they were closed. I knew how to get around them. I literally I would there was the one in Kentucky because they had 2, and they were I don't remember how many miles apart, but there was 2 of them. But if you got out the freeway before and drove down this other highway, you could drive around both of them, get back on the highway, and it would cost you some minutes. But I'd never have to, no matter what, I'd never get pulled into the
right, which is better than getting pulled over by far.
Because I have been pulled into those way stations, and most of the time, honestly, they probably be go through. But if they don't, they're pull on in. We're gonna check your everything. You're looking at 1 to 2 hours of your day that you're not getting paid for. Right?
Damn, that's harsh.
Yeah,
that's harsh. And then you still got you're driving frustrated and stuff. And
So I figured out a way in Kentucky to get around those way stations, so I didn't have to worry about them. And it was
secrets.
Yeah, man. It was cool because it was the same route every day. No matter what, it'd be the same route. I knew what to expect. I knew where the cops tried to hide. I knew where the traffic would get clogged up during certain times of the day. So I knew what times of the day to drive my truck so I could avoid those, potential messes. I knew everything. I knew where all the good food was at. I knew where the truck stops were at. I knew, hey, if I drive at night, I can stop anywhere I want and get a shower, and I don't have to wait. If you drive during the day, you have to find a place to park, first of all. Okay, wow. After 20 minutes of driving around the truck stop, you find a place to park. Right. Then, now that you find a place to park, then you got to go in and get a shower. Okay, you got to wait for everyone else who's taking the shower to be done. Now you got to wait an hour for that. Screw that. If you drive in the middle of the night, you don't ever have to find a place to park because there's you can you can go find a place. You can pull into the gas pump, fill up, and then go get a quick shower real quick. Ain't nobody waiting behind you because it's the middle of the night, and then you can bounce out of there, and you're on your way. And no one's waiting. No one's in the shower because it's the middle of the night. I just figured out ways around everything when I had the same route every day. Right. So it was when I had the dedicated route, it was way better than over the road. Over the road's cool because it's very adventurous, and it's you never know where you're gonna be. I could be in California. I could be in New York. I could be in Detroit. Or
that's great, but sometimes man, I just want to do this and go back, and that's it,
Yeah,
I can see that too. So
yeah, there's something cool about the complete. I don't know what's gonna happen next. I could be literally anywhere in the country. That can be cool, but it can also be tough too because you can't plan anything. And I'm talking about like the basics, like how you're going to shower, eat. You don't know. You don't know where you're going to eat at. You might be in the boonies in fucking Kentucky where there's no normal truck stops, and you got to figure out where you're going to eat at. It can be tough to do that, but it is adventurous. Both a dedicated. Huh?
Can you imagine doing that now in the pandemic, like being a truck driver? Probably can't shower anywhere.
I mean, the showers aren't bad at certain truck stops.
No. What I'm saying is, like, with the pandemic or whatever, they probably shut like the showers down or something. You know what I mean?
I don't even know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I wonder how that would be.
I should ask. I don't know. I should find out if I have any friends who are truck drivers still. I should text some people and find out what that's like.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Very interesting.
But
I'm curious.
I'm not making any suggestions or anything. But if anybody had any plans to shut down the economy, all you have to do is flatten everybody's tires in any given truck stop. They can't go anywhere.
You're horrible, man. This is just flatten the tires.
I'm not suggesting anybody ever do anything that sinister ever.
I'm just gonna put it out there.
I've only thought about these things because of all the time I had on my hands as a truck driver. That if all the tires got slashed on everybody's trucks in the truck stop, no one's getting any of their stuff delivered.
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad, man.
Yeah, it would. Because I mean, yeah, for the first few trucks, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I've got those tires." But then, if you had 100 trucks, I guarantee you they don't have enough tires to replace all the trucks for all the trucks.
That's going to delay some shipments for a while, for sure. And now that's money. You know how big corporations like their money.
Dude, I remember one time when I went to Canada because I'm a good boy and I don't have any felonies or misdemeanors or anything like that, so I can go into Canada with no problem. So the company I worked for, I was like, yeah, I'll go to Canada. It's an extra route. I mean, some people might sit for a day or two while I could be going to Canada, So I was like, sign me up for Canada, man. Actually, I like driving in Canada. It was awesome. But there was I don't remember exactly when it happened, but there was one time I went into Canada. I dropped off my load, or I don't know if I was picking up or dropping off. I don't remember. But I had to stay the night at the place that I was dropping off or picking up at because I was out of time. You can only drive for so many hours a day, then you have to stop.
It was like 10 hours, right?
Oh, man, I don't know. They changed it so many times. It used to be like 11 hours. But now it's like 10.75. So basically 10 hours and 45 minutes. I don't even know what it is now.
Okay.
But I don't know. But you've got like 10 and a half or so hours to drive per day. And then you have to stop for the day, which is like, I don't know, 8 hours. You have to take an 8 or 10 hour break. I don't even remember anymore. But I was in Canada, and keep in mind that all changes when you're in Canada because you're in another jurisdiction. I was in Canada spending the night, and I went the next morning after I woke up. I went to go do my what is it called? Pre-something inspection. I forgot. PSI. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The pre-trip inspection?
Yeah, PTI, that's it. Pre-trip inspection. And my license plates were gone. Yeah. I was like, fuck it. I don't care. And I did. I was like, fuck it. Not my problem. I don't own the truck. And I got out of the country just fine. And then at some point, I don't know how long, but it could have been too much longer. After that, I had to get back into Canada again for another load. At that point, it probably would have been Toronto area that happened at. And then at another point, it was when I was trying to get back into Canada, it was like it wasn't through Michigan. It was like through New York or Vermont. I don't know. One of those one of those East Coast states or Maine or something. I don't know. Might have been Maine. And I tried getting in, and it was like, you know how you've been to like Windsor before. You know how the border patrol is there. You know, they're like pretty much militants. It's like almost like getting in I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to Tijuana, but I have when I was younger.
No,
it's not quite that bad, but it's almost like getting in and out of Tijuana. It really is. Even in Buffalo, it's the same way. It's almost like getting in and out of Tijuana. But this other place, it was like Maine. It was probably Maine. It was like, dude, one dude in it, literally a shack. And it, there wasn't anybody else there. He seen that I didn't have the plates, and he held me up. And then the United States Border Patrol came over. They searched my truck. Dude, I was held up for a long ass time. And they're like, okay, we'll let you into the country, but you can't get out of the country until you get plates. So whenever you drop off your load, you have to pull into somewhere and stop, and you have to wait and get your Texas plates because the company I work for was in Texas.
Wow. So now you're delayed even more.
Yep. I had to wait in a Canadian truck stop for like, it wasn't, I don't know, a day and a half. I don't know. It wasn't super long, but still, it was time I could have been making money, and I didn't. Wow. And I had to sit there and wait for them to like FedEx me brand new plates because they were stolen. And I didn't report it. And I was just like, fuck it. No one knows who's going to look at my plates. Right. But someone did eventually. I got away with it for a while, but.
That's funny, man. Funny. No plates. Huh?
No, I rolled with no plates for a while. No one said nothing. I was like, fuck yeah, let's make money. It worked until it didn't.
Right. I'm not saying to do it, but you need to. That's funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I had some pretty good experiences in Canada, actually. Like, I remember Toronto. No, yeah, Toronto's cool. I've driven through it and to it and delivered stuff there a bunch of times. I've never actually hung out like in Toronto. I've only really just been there for deliveries, so I don't really have a whole lot of actual life experience in Toronto. Rebecca's been there before. She said she took a class trip when she was like in 8th grade or something to Toronto, and she said it was pretty chill. And I've been to Quebec, Montreal. I didn't really particularly like going there, but that was because there's a few reasons. Everything's in French, so not a terribly big deal. As long as you can actually read, it's not bad. Because you can be like, "Oh, Salton Road." Okay, I can match up how that's spelled.
Right.
And not a big deal. But the problems I ran into were like, "Oh, there's a detour. You got to go this way." I can't fucking read French. Right, I don't know what they're telling me, man. They're like, "Oh, I can see there's a detour." I have no idea where I'm supposed to go now.
Flagging people down. Excuse me, which way do I turn?
Yeah, that sucks. It really does because I don't speak French. I mean, if you're like telling me a street name, fine, no big deal. But when you're like, "Oh, go this way because the road is broken," I don't know what you're saying, dude. I don't know what that sign says. It says, "Oh, ta 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 ta." That's all I can read. But and then one time when I was in downtown Montreal, I got a little lost. I couldn't figure out how to get back on the freeway, and I seen this like underpass, and I was like, "That looks a little short. I don't think I'm going to try and go under." So I stopped my truck, like I was taught to do. And I was like, "Oh man!" And I'm in Canada, so I can't just hop on my phone and be like, there's like extra data charges and shit. So I couldn't really do much on my phone. So I looked around. I'm like, oh, there was a cop. He had someone pulled over. I was like, cool, man, a cop. So I went over to the cop and I was like, I walked up like, I try to be like all chill, like, hey, man, I see you're, dealing with this dude or whatever. But I'm like, I'm driving in that truck over there and I don't know millimeters. And I'm pretty sure that bridge looks too short for my truck. And I don't know the conversion and I can't look it up because, I'm in another country. I don't have data for that. I'm like, can you just come over when you're done with this dude? Can you come over and help me out and let me know if like I can make it under that bridge or not and help me figure out how to get on the freeway? He was like, I am French. Sure thing. No, I'm joking. He wasn't like that. It was cool. But like after he was done working, I don't know if that guy got a ticket or if he got out, but whoever that guy got pulled over, after he was done with that dude, he came over and he called the police station and they were like, yeah, here's the height of the bridge. Can we do the American conversion? And sure enough, it was too short. If I would have tried to like make it under, I would have fucked up the trailer and I would have been liable for that. So I made the right call. And but the thing was, it was like a boulevard, so it wasn't like I couldn't go anywhere. Right. So like the cops had to like block off the street, and then they like let me back up.
Right.
Because I couldn't UE because it was a boulevard. So yeah, they backed up, and then the cop was cool. He was like, "All right, I'll get you back on the freeway so you can figure out where to go." So like after I backed up and got out of that street, he like led me to wherever the freeway was so I could get back on the freeway. He was super chill. Yeah. Yep.
Nice Canadian.
Yeah, and another time in Montreal, it might have been the same trip. I don't remember, but I allegedly went around a corner too tight and hit something. The curb. I don't remember what I hit, allegedly. And my tire, one of my trailer tires popped. So I had to get a new tire. And the dude that came, I had to call someone and be like, hey, change my tire. I have a flat tire. The dude that came and changed my tire, he looked pretty much just like, what's that MMA fighter? From Canada? Fuck, dude. He was the champion for a while. He was the UFC champion for a while. A Canadian dude?
You've seen a while.
Saint. His name was Saint something.
No.
Saint Pierre.
Doesn't ring a bell. But
what?
I just haven't watched it in a while. That's all.
I haven't either. This is it. Hold on. Let me find out. Hold on. This is gonna piss me off if I can't figure it out. What's his freaking name? Oh, so UFC. Hold on. He's like I'm trying to remember what weight class he was. So hold on. Let me just Google it. UFC champ. Oh, what weight class was he? What's 170?
170 is like what? That is not because you're not a heavyweight. That's like what, welterweight?
What weight?
Is that welterweight?
Welterweight. Yeah, let's try welterweight. Something like that. Let's see what I come up with. I can't remember his first name, but his last name's Saint Pierre. Hold on. I'll if I find it, I'll put the. Dude, it's like it's not like anything new. We're talking like 10 years ago, champ. I can't remember his first name, but his last name's Saint Pierre. Hold on, let's put Saint Pierre. Champ St.
Pierre.
What?
Is it George St. Pierre?
Yeah, George St. Pierre.
Yeah, UFC welterweight.
Yeah. So the dude that came to change my tire looked just like that dude. I mean, not exactly, but he could have been his cousin.
That's funny.
Yeah, and they were all super chill. Like I've always heard, like people in Montreal are assholes. Blah 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 blah. People in Quebec are assholes. I did not have that experience at all. I mean, I didn't particularly like driving a semi truck, and in Montreal because of the height conversion that I'm American. I don't know Canadian or fucking the rest of the world uses millimeters, and stupid Americans use feet or whatever. Right. Yeah. But the people there were always cool. Like I remember I went to a Walmart and nobody spoke English, but they tried. They were like, "How are you doing, sir?" Like they really were trying.
Yeah.
Like you could tell they were they really wanted to be like, "How are you doing today?" Like, where are you from? Like I could tell like they didn't speak much English, but they were really trying. And like me, like I don't know, I thought it was cool. Like I didn't really have any bad experiences with people in Montreal or Quebec, whereas I had always been led to believe people are just assholes there, and that's not my experience at all.
That's weird how that works, right? Like you'll hear something, but it's not true, or it could be true, but you'll never know unless you're, you actually are around and experience it. What I mean? So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
So, do you have any Canadian experiences, Kenny?
Well, I went across the border. My friend got the car towed, and his passport was in the car. So, so we had to try to figure out how to get the car back.
Oh, damn.
When we did try and go over, he didn't have any like registration or anything like that, papers, no nothing. So they're like, all right, why don't you have anything? Everybody out the car. And I found out that I had a warrant for a ticket. And he was like, you're not even supposed to be like here.
God, dude.
It was like 5 in the morning and I had to be at work at 7:30. So the only person who could come get us was someone who had a felony. So they're not even supposed to go over. But they're like, look, since we know you're picking them up, you go over to that side of the border
and then come straight back.
Right back.
Yep. Yeah, man. I remember one time I went over with Kevin and Eric, and I mean, for those people, obviously people listening, they don't know who Kevin and Eric are. So my buddies Kevin and Eric, my sister married Kevin years ago. They're now divorced. But Kevin and Eric are both half white, half Panamanian. They're basically white. I mean, fuck, man. They haven't seen their dad since before I met them. So for all intents and purposes, they're basically white. Right. Their grandma's white. They're raised by their grandma and their mom. Their mom is white. Their dad was from Panama. They're Panamanian. But for all intents and purposes, they were raised in a white culture like me. But we went over one time, and dude, they were like, "Fuck, you guys look suspicious AF," and they were like, "Nope." I remember what they said. I remember like, "Shit, we didn't do anything." Yeah, just because they look like Mexican thugs.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah, it was funny though.
Dude, because I can see them both with those looks on their faces that they get.
Hey, dude, Kevin had this his car was awesome, man. He had this 1977 Lincoln Town Car with hardly any. He bought it from an old lady, so had hardly no miles, but it still looks suspicious AF. And we're just basically with our hands behind our back, shit.
That's messed up, dude.
I know, it's funny though.
That's funny as hell.
I know. It was funny. I don't even remember what happened after that. I just remember that incident. I'm sure we got in now, but
yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
It took a while because I remember I had to get my license and everything together. So
yeah.
So I can go back now.
Nice. Dude, Canada has some pretty strict laws about letting people in. If you've got a DUI, you're not getting into Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's a felony in most states. It's a felony. In Wisconsin, I think you can have one. Well, here they call it OWI, operating while intoxicated. You can have one OWI, and it's not a felony. After your after the first one, rather, then I think it's a felony. So, but that we're like one of the only states that doesn't have like a felony on the first offense or whatever. That's just because everybody's a fucking drunk. But um, yeah, like most states, like if you get in one DUI or OWI or whatever they call it in your state, you can't even get into Canada then because you've got a felony.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. Like, I mean, I have nothing to worry about, but I know that.
Me neither.
Right. That's like what's really weird. Like Linda, like Mike's ex. You know, she's in Canada, right?
She's in Canada now.
She's in Canada.
Oh,
She's
I
like
didn't
in
know that.
Canada, like illegally though.
Is she from Canada?
No, she's from here.
Oh,
Yeah, so she got married
to
that-
Mike?
No, she got married to some Canadian guy.
Oh, dude, you gotta catch me up. Hold on, let's hit pause. Hold on. I'm gonna hit pause on my mic.
Yeah.
literally believed it.
Oh, nice, dude. Fuck, man. Dude, do you have her number? I want to call her now.
No.
Not only am I an alien, but I'm a reincarnated alien from outer space.
Yes.
From that's the planet I'm from.
Freaking Mars attack over here.
Right, dude.
Man, it was wild, dude. But yep, she's over there. She's in Canada.
Cool, man. Well, I'm glad she's in Canada. I mean, Canada's a fucking cool country. I mean, I've never had a bad time in Canada. I'm just saying.
I mean, I hear you. I'm just like, man, that's
cool. She can have all the fun she wants in Canada.
right.
I hope Mike has a wonderful dude. I love Mike, man. He was like a brother to me. Like when we were in Bastard Submission together, like he was like literally my brother, man. Like I love that.
I gotta give you his number so you can call him up and everything.
Yeah,
we all too, because like we work the same job, so you know.
Yeah, man. Like Mike and I and like there was a couple of us that were real tight in Masters Commission.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, Mike was like my brother there.
Right. Yeah. Masters Commission was a very interesting place from like what I remember. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't in Masters Commission, but I was around enough to know.
Yeah. I'm glad you were smart enough not to come and hang out with the rest of us here in Masters Commission. But you were there a lot. You're around enough for us to like, you know, be cool and friends and shit. You didn't get
I forgot Taft. Then like if Taft wasn't staying there, they said that they probably would have just moved me into the dorm.
The dorm wasn't bad. It was weird. I don't know. Like it was just like however many dudes there were, and like I remember there was a couple times where like Mike and Larry. Remember Larry Lake?
Yeah.
Like there was like a couple times where like Mike and Larry and I were like, fuck it. And we all just got literally buck naked and we literally marched around the building just to piss off everybody else. We were like totally naked. And I would sleep in bed naked just to piss everybody off. Like I didn't even care, dude. We were just like naked.
Yeah. Naked.
In the church gymnasium. We're walking naked. And no one, they were just looking at us like, oh my God, these guys are crazy. It was just like Mike, Larry, and I. And we literally like marched around the gym. We're like,
wow.
This is us, dude.
I mean, that was you guys' like home. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Like, I can do whatever I want. That's funny.
I'll tell you what though, the dorm there was better than the place that the house Dwayne and I lived at before it was like a dorm.
Really?
I remember what it was called. What do they call that? Home? I don't even remember, but
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what they call it.
Yeah, I don't remember what they call it either, but the family lived was kind of weird. Like I get it, but like I never connected with the family at all, so it was always fucking awkward.
It was like, hey.
Dude, you know me, I can connect with almost anybody.
Right, yeah.
And I never connected with them.
That's weird.
It was weird. It was very awkward. Dwayne did, but their son was in junior high, and he was in the junior high. You know, he was one of the junior high leaders, so he was able to connect with them easier than I was. But I was just like, awkward. I live here.
Look, I just need somewhere to keep my stuff.
Basically. And then there was this one night, I don't even know what happened, but Dwayne and I both lost our shit. And I took a pair of my Dickie pants, like straight up regular Dickie pants, and I cut them into Daisy Dukes.
Oh
and
my God.
Yeah. And we both put them, in the basement. We both put them on. We're like, woo!
They come downstairs like, yeah, you guys gotta go. you guys gotta go.
Yeah, we were both like, I don't know if Dwayne will ever admit to it, but I'm here to say that actually happened. Like,
Yeah.
it was probably me. I probably instigated it. I'm sure.
I'm sure Dwayne remembers.
I'm sure he does, but I don't know if he wants to admit it. But
Um,
I'll admit it. I don't care. I cut them Dickies into Daisy Dukes, and I
that's
put them
funny.
on.
I mean, that's to me, that's funny or whatever. But Dwayne probably was just like, yeah, man.
Yeah, he was, but I didn't know it then.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Back then, we both got on each other's nerves, and we could barely stand each other. But
Right.
that day, we were both like, let's just have fun. Whatever.
Right.
We're going to be silly and do stupid shit. But the rest of the time, him and I could barely stand each other.
Right.
But after that, we were cool. Like,
I can see that though. I can see that. But I don't know. It's a weird situation. You know, you're leaving your home to go to someone else's home. You know what I mean? You're forced to live with someone else who's also forced to live with someone else. You know, it's just like, yeah.
and then, yeah, it was weird. And then we were like, and not that I cared, it doesn't matter, but we lived in the basement, which to me, whatever, it doesn't matter, dude. I'll sleep almost anywhere. I've slept in my car before.
right,
For like,
yeah.
it doesn't matter to me. But for some people, that would just make it more weird. But we were both in the basement, and like, it was a very, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Uncomfortable situation.
Right.
And it was pushing like our uncomfortability to the max.
Wow.
But I mean, it made us both grow. I mean,
yeah.
it made me help. I don't know. I'm me.
No, I know what you mean. I know.
But like it was hard to like I don't know. I couldn't stand Dwayne then.
Mhm.
But after we didn't live together, like it was cool. Like Dwayne was a cool dude.
Look, while we're here, I'm gonna need a little bit more than the blood of Christ to bind us because I can't stand you. So,
Right, but I mean, and to be fair, I was like 22 and he was like 18, so like he's still a teenager.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
he was fairly immature. And I did see Dwayne after that year mature. He matured a lot. He wasn't quite as immature as he was the first year.
yeah.
And it was difficult for me to put up with someone who was immature.
No, I can see that.
Not that I'm the master of mature or anything, but
I mean, you could always be Larry, so
dude, Larry, fuck man.
yeah, you could always be Larry. So, yeah.
He's a love-hate relationship kind of guy.
I mean, he was pretty cool though. He was pretty cool. He was all right from what I remember. But there were some times when, like, for sure, I was like, "Yo, dude, just stop playing." You know what I mean? I didn't care about playing. I'd play like all the time. But I was just like, dude, just calm down, chill. And then he'd just keep pushing it. And I'm like, look, like, you're really
Right.
pushing buttons right now. Like,
Yeah.
I need you to stop.
I
Like,
remember
need
one
you to
time-
stop.
I don't remember what we were doing, but like I had stopped at like, I don't know, a Walgreens or something to get photos printed. It wasn't like nothing. It was nothing. And like, I don't know, maybe we weren't supposed to stop and get photo. I don't know. Whatever it was. I probably wasn't supposed to be doing it at that time. And he like fucking ratted me out. Mr. Oh, yo, dog, I'm a fucking gangster. He like ratted me out. And I'm like, are you fucking... I wanted to strangle him, dude. I was ready to kill him at that moment, dude.
Yeah,
I was like, dude,
it's like it's
you're
it's
not a
funny.
thug. You're fucking
I'm
shit.
It's like I'm printing photos. We're both out here just doing whatever. Enjoy the moment. Just stop being a pussy.
It wasn't like any big deal. It was just like, we're doing something. I stopped and got photos printed. No big deal. This is before
Right, it's not like
digital
you're out
photos
buying,
were.
like, you know, alcohol and whatnot.
Right, yeah, and he was like, he didn't have my back. That was the thing that pissed me off, and he like was flat out like, and I pretty much like lied. I mean, I lied. I was like, that's not what happened. How could you do that? Blah 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 blah. But I was like so pissed. Like he all of a sudden out of nowhere just got super righteous, and you know he was I'm so holy. When he was there, like doing the same thing I was. He was so holy.
Matt
He
didn't
didn't have
go.
my back. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking kill you, man.
I'm gonna kill you, Larry.
No one really got. I don't even remember. No one really got in trouble for anything because they could. I don't think they could figure out what actually happened because I kind of held my ground. It was like,
Right?
we didn't do shit. I don't even know, but they couldn't figure it out, so that no one got in trouble. But I was like, dude, you couldn't get my back for that.
Right.
Damn, dude.
Did you end up leaving Masters Commission like before, or did you finish the whole thing?
Oh, I went first and second year,
Right.
and then, yeah.
Okay.
And then after the second year, I was going to go a third year, but then like everything fell apart. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I remember there was some drama going on there. At the
I don't
church.
even, yeah, dude, I don't even know what happened. All I know is like I was going to go a third year, and I was like, I recruited Rob Ditzler,
Mm-hmm.
and he was going to go with me, and it was going to be awesome. And then all of a sudden, everything fell apart, and I was like, all right.
Like, no. Yo, it was, that's also, speaking of Rob, like, Shayna, like, told me a little while ago that Rob hit her up out the blue.
Like recently,
Yeah, like about 2 months ago.
I haven't talked to Rob in a while. I got to hit him up then.
Yeah, that's what's so weird about it. Because Rob hasn't talked to any of us.
I mean, I got his number. I've texted him. I mean, not recently, but like I texted him. I don't know, within the last couple of years.
Yeah. So that's like if
Wait, is he not married anymore?
no, he is. He is. But I guess I guess she's okay with him having like a flirt
Side.
buddy or like a sexting buddy.
Oh,
And I guess he chose like Shayna to be like his sexting buddy. Right. Weird, right?
awkward.
Very. It was like, oh man, back then I was always like, and I was like, she's best friends with like Nikki, who was your girl.
That's right. Yeah, he and Nikki were like a thing in high school.
See how weird that is?
I didn't really like Nikki though.
Me and her got into it. Like, yeah, we stopped being friends. Like, but it's all like some other things with
Like-
Nikki was weird. But
I don't know why, but I mean, maybe I was just always being too just judgmental. But I always felt like she was like, I don't know, white trash hot or something. I don't know, dude.
that would be it.
I-
That would be it.
I don't even know. Like, I just like
I
she
can tell
wasn't
you stories.
hot, but she wasn't not. It was weird.
I
I just didn't like it.
stories, bro. Like, tell you stories because we used to hang out and go to have parties over at her like house with her and her husband, and it got to a point where I was like, I'm a completely different person hanging out with you guys, and I can't do this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it got weird.
I remember you telling me some. Oh shoot! I'm trying to remember. You told me some story that happened. I don't even remember who it
Was it the one about Muzzy?
was. Maybe Muzzy. Oh, I remember. Oh, fuck, what's her name? What?
Andrea?
Oh, yeah, Andrea was in the story.
Yeah. Okay, I probably told you that one, but
I don't
Muzzy-
remember the whole story.
there's
No, I
another
just remember
story
the
with
story with Andrea.
there's
And I
another
was
story.
like, damn it, why wasn't I there?
Yeah. I'd say Muzzy finally got he finally got Nikki that night.
Muzzy was like such a shy little dude, but he was a cool dude.
Yeah,
Is
but
he
like
still
her
alive?
husband was into that stuff, but he was into like swinging and stuff though.
Oh,
I mean, so it was kind of weird, dude. Like you're at
Yeah.
a house party and you're sneaking Muzzy back out of the room and sneaking Nikki out of the room too, so they can come rejoin the party. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, like, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be hanging out with y'all like this.
dude, that's such a funny name too, Muzzy. Like we should probably like give some context to that. Like his name is Chris Muzzin. Was it Muzzin? Yeah, we just called him Muzzy.
Yeah.
Like that was his nickname was Muzzy, not like
Yeah.
Muslim, but like because that's the obvious implication is Muzzy Muslim. It wasn't Muslim. It was just his name is Chris Muzzin, so everyone called him Muzzy. Chris Muzzy.
Yep. They either call him Chris Muzzy or they call him Muzzy Muzzin.
Yeah.
Yep. Muzzy.
I haven't talked to that dude in years. Yeah. I remember him and what was the media pastor's son? They used to hang out all the time.
The media pastor's son.
They're from Phoenix, Arizona. As soon as I hear his name, I'll remember it. I just can't remember his name right
now. It wasn't JR.
No.
Wait, Eric Club?
Yeah, Club. It was
okay,
Club. Eric Club.
So leading back into that story about Rob, a week later, Eric Club hits up Shayna on the same stuff and frees the beast on himself while they're like conversing. I'm like, you don't see what the weirdness here that, I mean, if it was, okay, that's like if me and you hit up Nikki, right? And like you hit her up and like tried some stuff and then I hit her up, knowing that you and I both talk, you know what I mean? And that we're friends. If I was going to do that, like if we came up with like a plan, you know what I mean? That like, wouldn't that like ring a bell to you?
It'd be weird.
Yeah.
It'd be more like if do you remember that girl Teresa?
Yes.
It'd be like if you and I were trying to hit on her.
Yeah.
Like randomly.
Either way.
Dude,
that's weird.
Yeah. I feel like her and I almost could have been a thing for a hot second. But I was like so moral, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
No, because her and I were like hang out all the time.
Mm-hmm. It's possible.
And I was like, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah, it was so weird. It was like,
dude, and then not only her, but what was Jenny McMillan? Her too.
Oh yeah.
And she was pretty hot.
But Jenny was.
And for a while, her and I would hang out alone all the time too. But nothing ever happened. It was just like at that point where like remember how I was like super head over heels over Elizabeth Eberbach?
Yeah.
Okay, at some point I figured out it was never going to happen. I don't know why it took me so long, but when I figured out it wasn't going to happen, I was like, heartbroken and devastated. And for whatever reason, I was like super drawn to like Jenny McMillan, but not like in any kind of like a sexual way or anything.
Right. It's just like, yo, just like your vibe.
I was just like, whatever, we're friends, whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I remember one time I brought her Taco Bell to work, and she was like super happy about it. And I was just like, it was like as friends.
Right.
Which, like for me is like weird. Like if it was the chick involved, I would probably be all over it because at that point in my life I was Mr. Lonely.
No.
As far as women are concerned anyway.
Yeah.
But like and now at that point I was just happy to have a friend. I didn't care if it was a girl or a guy. But like, yeah, like and we would hang out. Her and I would hang out alone all the time. Jenny McMillan and I, the most unlikely to ever, I think. Like she's so straight. I think I don't know compared to me, and like we would just hang out all the time, and for like a couple months. And I don't even remember what happened. I don't remember why I stopped hanging out with her. She was cool. I didn't have anything against her. I think I don't know whatever happened in my life. I just moved on or whatever, but. No, I remember one time we were driving up like Telegraph or something, and dude, you know me, I can be spontaneous, and out of nowhere, I just stuck my head out the window and I'm like beep 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 at this lady, and this lady's looking at me like, what? I'm like, your tire, look at your tire. There's nothing wrong with her tire at all. And Jenny was laughing her ass off. She's like, oh my God, she's looking at her tire. She thought it was hilarious. And I was like so happy that I'm making like another human being like laugh her ass off. Like genuinely. She was like, oh my God, I'm having a great time. And I was like, oh my God, I'm having a great time because I'm having a great time. And like I'm like telling say like look at your tire pulled over. So it's not horrible, dude. I know I was dick. It was totally in the moment too. Like I didn't pre-plan it out at all. Like I was just like saw a lady. I'm like beep 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 beep. And the lady was like okay thanks. She was like super happy that I was telling her that her tire was.
And then she's gonna find out there's nothing wrong with her tire.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch.
Jenny McMillan, man, she was fucking having the time of her life. She was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! That lady's looking at her tire."
I think like some of the girls there, like they just hit like a certain age where they just like flip. You know what I mean?
Maybe, I don't know, man.
Because
I think I wish I would have known then what I know now, because
yeah,
I had it all, man.
yeah.
Not that it matters. It doesn't matter, but dude, I was so fucking straight. It was retarded. Like, you could have put a pussy in front of me and I wouldn't have fucked it.
What is this? What is this in front of me? Go ahead, Matt.
I mean, I would have known what it was, but I was like, I'm not supposed to fuck that. Even though I want to.
Horrible. Yeah.
I can look, can't I?
You're horrible. You're horrible, dude.
I know, man. Dude, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm glad I was the way I was, whatever. But
Yeah. Like,
I probably could have had more fun had I known than what I know now.
Yeah, like I said, I don't regret like not doing stuff. Like, but at the same time, it's like, man, if I was a different person, the stuff that I could have got away with.
If I was me now.
Yeah. Man, Pastor Tommy would have kicked me out. You could have kicked me out.
Yeah, well, I was a youth leader.
Like, don't come back.
Dude, I remember like there was one point in time where like I really liked what was her last name? Stephanie. I don't fucking remember her last name.
Stephanie.
She dated for a while. She dated John Habibi.
Oh,
like a long time, for like a year and a half, which in junior high or high school, that's a long time.
I know what Stephanie you're talking about.
Stephanie, I can't remember her last name. But like, yeah, like after she was out of high school, she was like, "Oh, I have feelings for you," and I was like, and like, and I like wanted to like try to pursue it, but for whatever, I don't know, I fucked it up. I don't even know what happened.
I don't know. I remember Joey Melcher's like girlfriend. Freaking, what was her name?
Nikki. Didn't he date? No, wait, that was wait.
Not Nikki. That's his sister.
Oh yeah, dude. I remember one year on New Year's at the church.
Mm-hmm.
Joey kissed me on the mouth.
I remember you told me about that.
Like,
dude,
I was so shocked, but at the same time, I was like, "Oh, that's not really as weird as I thought it would be." But it's still fucking really weird because I'm an adult and here's a teenage man, boy, not man, whatever. A male teenage boy kissing me. He kissed me on the mouth. I didn't fucking kiss him.
Wow.
But it was like New Year's and he like came up to me and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? Happy New Year." He's like, I'm like,
no. It's like,
that just happened.
All right, man.
I just kissed a teenage boy on the mouth at church. No, he kissed me actually, but I mean, that's just what happened.
Yeah, okay.
That's the only time I've ever had another dude's mouth on my mouth ever. I swear to God. But it being Joey, I mean, I guess you kind of got to know Joey. It wasn't, it's Joey.
Right. Hey.
It's Joey.
You know what? Because it's Joey. Like,
Joey's
that's
cool.
Joey would have done.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, it was weird. It was awkward and weird, but at the same time, it wasn't as weird as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, someone's messaging me. It's my buddy Mitch from work. Hold on, let me see what he's telling me. Oh, he just thumbs up to me. And some are still texting me from like, I don't know, God knows, an hour ago.
Really? Nice.
Oh,
that's what she's doing.
Want to come on? I'm gonna ask her. She wants to come on. Oh shit! What happened?
Dude, it's like almost like 3:30. Right?
It's 2:24 in the morning here.
Yeah, it's like 3:30 here.
Yeah.
she's got to go work at 7. So at some point, I'll probably.
Well, she's probably not working tomorrow. It's Sunday.
No, I'm talking about Keith is. She has to go work at 7. Or be up at 7 to go work at 8.
Oh, come on.
But that'd be nice if we can get her on. That'd be cool. Like,
Let me get her on my phone.
that would do.
I don't know, I'm having a hard time doing it on the Facebook interface online. Hold on, screw Facebook. I'll try to do it on my phone and see if she's on here. Summer. Oh, she's not active.
Yeah.
It was lying to me. It was like an hour ago. You know, sometimes they'll have like the 3 dots like wiggling like they're writing. It's
Mhm.
on that, but on my phone it said it was like an hour ago.
When someone like either forgot that they were typing,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's just like, dude, like it's been like 20 minutes. What the hell?
Mhm. If it's my mom, I'm like, okay, 20 minutes. Yeah, that's about how long it takes her to write a message.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's weird. So let's see what else is going on in life here.
I don't know, not too
You're
much.
not working for the winter, which is so cool. When do you go back? March?
Yeah, but like they called us the other day and they're like, hey, because like it's been fairly warm here.
Yeah, it's not that cold here either. We haven't
Yeah,
had any extreme
just
cold weather yet. Today was cold and it was only 15 degrees. And I was like, I felt like it was cold. Usually this time of the year it's 20 below zero.
Yeah, I remember like when I was there, but like, yeah, usually it's a lot colder. And they're like, well, since it's not that cold, you guys might come back like towards the end of February, beginning of March, instead of like March to possibly April. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, look, I need it to be like a really cold February so it freezes the ground. And for
Right.
the last like, week, it's been like snowing and cold. And I was just like, great, freeze the ground. So I like, I'm getting that extra money now on unemployment. So like, I'm like, yo, let me get that.
Right. I hope so, dude. Because I used up all my paid time off around Christmas because I didn't,
Right.
it's kind of like a use it or lose it thing, and I saved it up for the Christmas week so I could take the whole week off between Christmas and New Year, and then not lose it. So I don't really have a whole lot of hours right now, but hopefully, I mean, I get like 4.95 hour or 4.92 hours per paycheck, which is every 2 weeks. I should have at least enough, maybe kind of towards the middle or end of February. Hopefully,
Okay.
so I can take like a Friday and a Monday off without it being a big deal, or maybe you can come up then.
Okay.
And then we're gonna buy a house soon. Like Rebecca's got not a bunch, but she's got like a bunch of money saved. Not a bunch, but a bunch.
Well, yeah.
She's got a little bit, set aside from her inheritance from her grandma, and then I'm getting my taxes back. Hopefully, I gotta go do them first. But assuming it all goes well, I should have probably $4 or $5 grand back based on the last couple of years. Hopefully, and then we'll I'm gonna pay off her credit cards, my credit cards, and whatever's left over. We'll go towards like a down payment. So we should have like enough to buy or put as a down payment on a house at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of not even looking at houses until I do my taxes, so we can have some money. And then I don't know, there's been rumors of like there might be another stimulus or whatever.
Yeah.
If there's another stimulus, that could be another $2 to $6 grand. If hopefully if that's the case, I'll take it, man.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It'll basically be like go towards the down payment on a house for us, if that's the case.
That's pretty much what we're doing too.
Right? Yeah. So I don't know what it's going to be, but it's some people have said $2,000 for everybody. So that would mean myself, my spouse, and my my daughter, my child, that would be $6,000. Assuming the best case scenario, that'd be $6,000. Plus, I'm hoping to get like 4 or 5 back from taxes. So, like 11 grand. I'll pay, her credit card debt off, my credit card debt off. That'll probably leave us a good 8 or 9 or whatever.
Well, I'd be looking at 10 grand, and then whatever my taxes.
Plus she already has some set aside, so we should have a substantial amount to be like, can you give us the best offer? I don't know. When we go to buy a house, we're like, hey, we've got a lot down.
Right.
Because I'm not looking for a $3 million house or anything. I'm looking for like an $80,000 house that we can put like, a good 20 grand down on, or 18, 20 grand, somewhere there. Right. So a substantial amount down, hopefully, and that might wet the tongues of the sellers. I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see.
With the way things have been going, I'm pretty sure it'll work out fine.
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going to be choosy about where we pick, because I want to be able to have some property so we can have, that's in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to worry about jurisdiction and cops and fucking stupid rules about goats. And I want to be able to have chickens, goats, maybe alpacas, so we can get the wool. Because like chickens, you can get eggs. Goats, they can eat your grass. They can mow your lawn, essentially. You can milk them too. I don't like milk myself, but there's plenty of people, and I'm sure the Wausau area, that love milk. I could trade or sell milk and eggs. And then with alpacas, their manure is very valuable, because you don't. I don't know. I guess you don't. Their manure, their crap is basically, you can put it right in the garden and start planting. You don't you don't have like some manure, you have to let it like compost for a while before it's ready. Yeah. Apparently alpaca crap is like boom, ready to go. Put it in the soil, you're good to go. And they're wool. So I can take alpaca wool, I can shear them all, and Rebecca and Autumn and I in the winter can sit there and whatever knit or darn wool or whatever it's called, where you spin the wool. I don't even know the right terminology. We can spin the wool, make hats, sell them online, whatever, or socks or whatever, or for ourselves, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so the plan is to like have enough acreage or property to where we can grow basic fruits and vegetables, probably not fruits as much as vegetables, have eggs, milk from goats to either trade or use ourselves. And then alpaca wool, so we can make wool trade with that. So the goal is to eventually get to where like we don't really need to buy very much food. We can use our goods, wool, eggs, milk, to trade for what we need. That's the goal. I don't know if we'll ever get there or not, but that's the goal. Is to try to get to where we can trade whatever we can't make or grow ourselves. We can trade for with somebody else who does. Like there's a farm out here that has bison.
Nice.
Like I'd like to be able to be like, hey, I've got goat milk, eggs, and alpaca wool. How about a quarter of a bison for how much eggs and how much wool do you want? How much goat milk do you want?
Right. Yeah.
And then I could have, a freezer full of bison meat that the dogs can eat. I can eat.
No, that's what.
That's the goal.
Like, I'd probably grow some vegetables or whatever. You know what I mean? But like that's mostly like a me thing. You know what I mean? Like that'd probably just be more of my little thing. But like I want the land because like here I have the houses are too close together. I can look out the window right here, and like there's a house right there. It's just we're separated by a driveway.
Right. Yeah.
and then like I have like my backyard, and that's it. You
Right.
know what I mean? That's just how all the stuff is here in like Michigan or in Detroit. For the most
Right,
part.
yeah. Like you can like there's a lot of I don't know any names of any channels, but I know there are urban gardening YouTube channels where like the only thing they focus on is like God, I can't talk. Urban gardening for, like situations like that.
Mhm.
Even our landlord was like, yeah, you guys can use the land for gardening. I just don't want to start tilling stuff if we're gonna move in 4 or 5 months or 3 months. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense. That's why I've never started gardening here, is because I feel like at any moment I want to be able to be ready to move if we find a house we can buy. That's why I've never started a garden here. But yeah, I think whatever we buy, the first step would be like for us trying to figure out like greenhouse situation. I don't really know much about them. I know that there's lots of videos out there, but being that Wisconsin is so cold in the winter, I had to do some extensive research on how to build a greenhouse. Right, yeah.
A lot. You
But
got a point with that. So.
that was going to be like a priority for trying to grow like basic, tomatoes, cucumbers, whatever. I don't know, watermelon. I've got seeds in the pantry for all that kind of stuff for whenever we do. And then I know like Rebecca wants an herb garden, so like cilantro. Like I want all that too. I love fresh cilantro, and what's the other one that's really good? Fresh green onions are really good.
Yeah.
We usually can go at the beginning of the summer. We can go to the farmer's market and get green onions. They're freaking huge. They're like that big around.
Oh, nice.
They're huge at the beginning of summer.
Nice.
And then they kind of get smaller towards the end of summer, and they're cheap. Like $1 for a bundle. They're cheap at the farmer's market. But whatever we can't grow ourselves and trade for, we can get at the farmer's market around town.
Fairly cheap or so.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. Like for the most part, like you can get like lettuce for $1 or $2 for a head, green onions for $1. Oh, what else do we get? Squash is usually like $2 or $3 for a big, like spaghetti squash.
Right. Spaghetti squash is pretty good too.
I love spaghetti squash, yeah.
Yeah, I grilled some actually. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's pretty good. Like it's not like for everybody, you know what I mean? It's not for everybody, but like I like it. Like I said, I'm a bigger like vegetable person here now.
I like spaghetti squash a lot. Like
so
that's one of my favorite meals to make. We don't really make it often enough, but like it's one of those meals like it tastes good, it's easy to make. You pretty much throw the spaghetti squash, gut it out, throw it in the oven at 375 for like 45 minutes. And yeah,
smoker.
What's that?
I'm gonna do a smoker whenever I
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I should try them on the grill this summer. If we're not moved, whether we're moved out of here or not, I should still try doing spaghetti squash on the grill or like on a smoker this summer. When we do get our own property, that is one thing I do want to build by hand is a brick grill.
Yeah.
Like I want to actually do a pizza, a brick oven, a pizza brick oven. That's my goal, is to get one of those. But like, if I can get like most of, kind of like most of the way towards there, if I'm just getting a grill that I can put pizza on and it's not quite a brick oven, I'm cool with that. But like the end goal would be like, I want a brick oven for pizza. Not that pizza's pizza. I don't know. I feel like pizza's like a C. Like it's not my favorite food, but I don't hate it. But like brick oven pizza is usually really, really good. Yeah. And I've always liked brick ovens. I think they're cool. You can, I don't know. That'd be the goal, is like if we have our own property to make a brick oven type grill area where I can cook food outside, and certainly a pizza. Impossible.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. That'd be cool.
No.
It's like a lot of possibilities. It's just, again, having the land, you know what I mean? And it's just, that's it. And just having something that works for you, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, and it's not even really that much money to necessarily build something like that. It's just like maybe over time here and there, buy the part, buy what you need and put it together over the winter so it's ready by summer. I don't feel like it's a brick oven. You can take a year to build something like that slowly and cost efficiently. But I don't feel like that's the most important thing to build either. I mean, that's like a luxury. Like, I feel like there's a lot of other stuff you could build to like heat your home, feed your family, that are much more efficient.
I thought about doing like solar panels, but like installation would be like expensive, you know what I mean? And then like I would need like a lot of space, you know what I mean, to get like for just replacement, you know what I mean, to actually get the most out of the actual like solar panels. Because other than that, like it would be a waste of money, you know what I mean? But I thought about it though.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do like for alternative power. One of the things I wanted to sort of get into was like, I'm trying to think what it was called. Like, they're called like, it's not jet engines, but it's like jet chimneys or something.
Okay.
Where basically they sound like a jet engine. That's where they get the jet name from. But essentially, if you have like, it's hard to kind of explain, but let's say you have like a pile of bricks in like a square formation, but on the bottom of one of the ends of this, the very bottom, you have that open so that there's no brick there.
Okay.
There's air being forced in and then up, and it makes the fire like it forces. Yeah. Okay. I forget the exact name of them off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's tons of YouTube videos out there on how to make them, but you can actually use those to heat your home pretty efficiently. And then man, there's a lot of ways. I've seen a lot of ways you can alternatively heat not cool, but heat your home in the winter or power your home throughout the year. I literally have books on it. Like I've got like, I can't reach my book right now, but I've got like books right back there. Like alcohol is a gas, solar is, from solar to down. I've got like a bunch of books on how to use like alternative methods of like, how to make methane gas. And then instead of propane, methane, you can use methane gas instead of propane. So if you live in the middle of nowhere and you normally would have like a propane tank, you can actually make methane gas with compost and other things. And you can make your compost piles to where they're in a barrel. So then the methane gas has nowhere to go but down a tube and into your stove or into your furnace or there is actually like propane powered for refrigerators that you could even use to.
Yeah, I've seen the stove one.
Yeah,
because like I watch like a lot of like pretty much like tiny houses and a lot of container homes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like one person, they're like, yeah, so we have our compost here, but we also use that to like make the methane, so we can actually like cook with that and everything.
Yep.
So yeah, so I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done that, but that's my goal, is to be able to try to do stuff like that down the road. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that'd be super awesome. Like if someone like me or you could figure out how to utilize methane gas to heat the stove instead of paying the power company.
Oh,
I mean, could you imagine like what that would do for other people who like, oh, I could do that too. You know, well, that's
it only takes one. It only takes one person to like do it. You know what I mean? And like for it to kind of catch on. You know what I mean? It sounds kind of cheesy and corny, but like it's true. You know what I mean? Like it's you don't think about something, or at least like consider it until you see someone else doing it, or at least talking about it. You know what I mean? So like it takes one to really be doing it. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely, man. Okay, well, at that, we're almost at 2 hours, so I think we will probably end this quote-unquote pilot episode.
Right.
I know we got a lot of juicy gossip up in here about all our friends that nobody knows.
I know, right?
All the people that we know watch this be like, "What the fuck?" Everyone else is like, "I don't know who that is." Cool. Well, so I think we kind of decided for the name of this is the Unnamed Fraudcast.
Yeah.
And if you like this pilot episode, I will make it available eventually on all of the normal podcast type platforms like Apple, Google, Amazon, Stitcher, Radio Public, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I can make it available on all those. Right now, I'm just streaming it on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll make the audio available on those platforms at some point. So if you like this content, please make sure you subscribe and like it and send it to your friends who you hate, because they'll love to hate it. They can love to hate us. I love to hate these guys. Whatever, man. Send it to people you love. Send it to people you love to hate, so they can hate on us in a lovely way. If that makes any sense. And I got some advice for everybody here. Ready? Be fruitful, multiply. Don't be fruity and blow, guy.
Great advice.
All right, man.
Be fruitful and multiply and use methane.
Use methane. Use methane.
Silly, bro.
All right, man. That's Kenny, and I'm Matt, and we're out.
Later.